In 1985, King was offered to direct a movie written from a short story of his called Trucks. The movie would be titled Maximum Overdrive. He agreed to do so on the basis that he wanted to create a movie truly based on his book. He swore never to do it again, because between writing and directing, he said he never saw the family that cared for him. After directing the movie and starring in a commercial, everyone knew his face. Worse yet, his pen name Richard Bachman was discovered due to a publishing record slip-up. Everyone would recognize him on the street, and at first, King was uncomfortable. This fame translated into what King called Bestsellosaurus Rex. Everything he wrote could become a bestseller, even as a simple collection of stories with his name called Skeleton Crew made it. He eventually hired a secretary to answer the 500 letters he got a week. A newsletter was formed to keep fans up to date. Eventually, few editors would criticize his work, and listening to the opinions of anyone to approve his work became more important than ever. A new movement was growing, though, that King would not take the advice from. Censorship was beginning to be a hot topic, and groups like Guardians for the Education of Maine and Women's Christian Temperance Union began wanting to censor books like Harry because they contained evil. King was avidly against this. He said it was wrong for the course to force people into what they read. Out of pure resentment, he added the 100,000 words that had been cut from the stand originally and added them back in, and the newer version actually received better reviews. King also felt that reading was very important. So important, in fact, that he made donations such as the $11.7 million donation to the local library. King was obviously well liked by his town, and he said it was all to thank for what the town had given him. As his next work, King would again engage the public. This time, it was a presentation of his writing style and challenges to potential writers. On Writing would be the first book of its kind by King. At first this was easy, but King eventually got stuck and would take long walks used for brainstorming. In fact, he did this for almost all his books, and a problem never arose until one day, while walking, King turned onto a highway and was hit by drunk driver Brian Smith. King was anything but okay. He suffered a shattered leg, split knee, a hip fracture, chipped spine, 4 broken ribs, and a scalp laceration. After 5 surgeries, his knee was fitted with rods and pins that would need to be swatted with hydrogen peroxide, a very painful procedure. To this day, King is, and will not ever be, fully recovered 100%. With much physical therapy, On Writing was eventually completed. From there, his momentum as a writer never faltered. In 2003, King's Dark Tower series had been completed with its 7th installment, Imagination, that had started 35 years prior. In the same year, King would be recognized by a group that he thought would never ever nominate him for an award due to his genre. In 2003, King accepted the Distinguished Contribution to the American Letters Award. He was finally honored for his life works. Countless other awards, such as the prestigious O. Henry Award, had been received, but it was all summarized by this. King had sold over 300 million copies of his work, and over 50 productions were made of his work. But King's life was more than numbers. It was a story of a man that went from rag to riches, a man who followed his dream with unmatched determination, a man who single-handedly brought a once trivial genre to the limelight of society, a man with such fame that anything he wrote would become a bestseller, a man who enriched millions and millions of lives everywhere. Above all else, the king of horror and master of fiction wants to leave readers with this message. If you don't believe anything else, believe this. When I take you by your hand and begin to talk, my friend, believe every word I say.